What's up, YouTube community? Welcome to InvestDesk, your #1 channel for investing in cryptocurrency with daily updates, news, and forecasts. My name is Syed, and today we're going to take a look at deep dive into yet another great breaking news. It was in the making, but I just wanted to cover this right now because this is the time where it's going to have a huge impact on not only just cryptocurrency, but especially with Dogecoin. And this is going to be, we're going to be taking a look at into the Coinbase initial public offering. Yes, so that's super exciting. We are going to talk about what that is, how does that impact the crypto market, and more specifically Dogecoin. So let's take a look at what is Coinbase. Most of you would probably know it's basically an exchange, right, that has decided to go public and has in fact filed their papers to be listed on NASDAQ, right? So we're going to talk about that in depth, but I'd like to welcome you all. So if you're in, make sure you hit the subscribe button and be sure to like, comment. I'd like to have a discussion on this. I want to be able to see what your take is on this particular initial public offering. So once we're on this, we're going to be discussing it in depth. So once again, this is about Coinbase initial public offering, and we'll be talking about this. And Coinbase, by the way, is one of the largest US cryptocurrency exchange, okay, and they filed to go public via a direct listing in what's basically was anticipated to be a breakthrough moment for the industry. Okay, now I'm going to repeat this. This is a breakthrough moment for the crypto industry. Okay, because the company is not going to, won't raise any proceeds in the transaction, Coinbase said in the filing with the United States Securities and Exchange Commission on Thursday. So they're not interested in raising any money so far in the transaction itself. But what they do want to do is the breakthrough for them, or in fact for the entire cryptocurrency, and I think they're doing an awesome job, is the fact that they are going to be in the framework of regulators. Okay, now that's a huge step. In other words, cryptocurrency exchanges are going to be now traded on NASDAQ, for example, and they are going to be regulated. Okay, now I hope you understand what the impact is, right, of this particular aspect of the exchanges going public. So you not only, from Coinbase, by the way, you could buy cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, Dogecoin, and so on, but not only you can buy cryptocurrency, you can actually buy some shares of Coinbase itself. So what is happening? This is a huge step because more and more exchanges are going to follow suit, and they are going to be also listed on the NASDAQ, or way up there where other exchanges are. So the idea, the goal is that once they actually get listed, they are going to be the pioneers, or basically one of the first ones to be listed on to the actual NASDAQ platform. So Coinbase offering could be the first major direct listing to take place on the NASDAQ, and all previous ones, by the way, including others like Spotify or Slack or Palantir, they were listed on the New York Stock Exchange. And online, video gaming company like Roblox also has announced that it's planning a direct listing. Okay, so the listing could value Coinbase, by the way, once it's listed on the IPO or on the NASDAQ, right? The listing could value Coinbase at more than $100 billion. All right, let me say that again. So Coinbase could be valued at over 100 billion US dollars. And that's really exciting. Not just for Coinbase itself, I'm super happy for them, but really the underlying goal, the hidden thing that I feel are the ones that cryptocurrencies are now going to be regulated, right? In one way or the other, because the entire exchange is regulated. And I'm going to talk about this more. Okay, we're going to get deep dive into what that is and how that works and why. Okay, so a little bit of history of Coinbase, just so you know. It started back in 2012, and it raised more than $500 million from backers, for example, that included Y Combinator and Greylock Partners, according to their website, right? You can check that out too. But the company was valued at more than $8 billion in 2018, and that's amazing. Okay, and after a $300 million funding round led by the Tiger Global Management. So what is happening here is that Coinbase revenue more than doubled last year from 2019 as it swung to a profit, right, and made a huge profit. And the company reported a net income of $322 million and on net revenue of $1.14 billion for 2020. That's a lot of revenue, right? And compared to a net loss of $30 million, by the way, on revenue of $483 million a year earlier. So Coinbase basically said in the filing, okay, that's what they said in the filing, that it doesn't have an address for its headquarters as it became a remote first company in May. Well, because of the COVID situation, that makes sense. And Bitcoin was trading around, let's say 50,000, right? That was on recent, after hitting the all-time high of 57,000 or 58,000 just a couple of days ago on February 21st. And cryptocurrencies have been basically by the, they ran by the tide of monetary and fiscal stimulus and aimed at fighting the impact of the pandemic. And Coinbase said that the majority of its net revenue, all right, is derived from transactions in Bitcoin and Ethereum. And that's, of course, one of the two largest cryptocurrencies so far. And of course, not to mention, Dogecoin is going to be following suit. Okay, it's going to be the people's currency that's going to follow suit for Bitcoin and Ethereum, if not even cross them. So that's what Coinbase, said in their filing, that it doesn't have an address right at this point. And of course, we know that Coinbase also said that the majority of its revenue is derived from transactions in Bitcoin and Ethereum. So it's pretty solid. But there are some, of course, potential risk factors that could affect the listing plans. And Coinbase listed the volatile nature of cryptocurrencies as their main concern. So of course that's obvious, right? Cryptocurrency is a volatile market. Things could move up and down pretty rapidly. So that's a potential risk factor that everyone knows getting into it. And if demand for these crypto assets basically go down and is not replaced by new demand for crypto assets, right? Of course, it's going to hurt Coinbase as well. So the owners of Coinbase Class A common stock will be allowed to sell in the listing. And Class A stock carries 1 vote per share. And Class B will have 20, right? As per their filing. So it'll be listed under the symbol COIN. So Coinbase symbol will be COIN. Okay, straightforward. And I think Goldman Sachs groups, JP Morgan, Allen and Company, and Citigroup are advising on the transaction. So super exciting news for Coinbase, but more importantly, let's take a look at how it affects actual Dogecoin, right? What happens to the price of the coin itself? Okay, because the reason why it will have an impact on cryptocurrencies other than Bitcoin and Ethereum, because more and more people are going to trade. Of course, they're trading Dogecoin already on Coinbase. Okay, and it's going to have a huge impact. So this is going to be a driving factor, yet another boost for the crypto market. Okay, because now things are moving towards regulations. All right, so the watchdogs, Uncle Sam is watching what's happening with these. So the idea is that when these coin companies or these exchanges move under the umbrella of regulations, that's really when we know that this is in for a long run. This is for real, right? This is happening. People, it's action that is actually happening, and people are moving their exchanges and listing them as an initial public offering. Okay, so we not only buy stocks and cryptocurrencies on these exchanges, but actually buy shares for these exchanges as well. So I'm definitely seeing an upswing with Coinbase once they launch, and I think they're going to launch in March. But let me talk more about Coinbase, all right, and deep dive into what it is. What does Coinbase actually do? Okay, it's good to understand because that will help you decide and make informed decisions when you're investing. By the way, if you have not liked or commented, please do so, and appreciate your support. Make sure you subscribe to get the latest and updated news regarding Dogecoin, other cryptocurrency, so that it helps you. And of course, make sure, or please understand, that I'm not a financial advisor. This is just my own research, my own strategies that I share, that I've accumulated over several years into investing. So what does Coinbase actually do? So straightforward. Let's say if you want to buy Bitcoin, you want to buy Ethereum, right? So there are two things you can do. You can either mine Bitcoin yourself, right? Put together these $30,000 worth of mining, hardware, right? And get it that way. Of course, it's insanely costly, right? That's a lot of money for you to set up that. So that's why most people end up just buying Bitcoin instead of mining it. And that's what Coinbase comes in, because it is an exchange that allows you to purchase Bitcoin using credit card, using dollars or other currency. So for many people, right, Coinbase operates a straightforward online exchange, simply allowing buyers and sellers to meet in the middle and find a price. That's what it do. But for more experienced users, by the way, Coinbase offers a robust trading platform also. It's called Coinbase Pro. So if you're an advanced trader, you can take a look at Coinbase Pro, all right? With a full set of features and charts to help you basically look at the depths of the crypto market. And it also offers, by the way, a free wallet service that allows users to safely store their cryptocurrencies. But of course, I always recommend that you need to have your own hardware wallet, right, with you, which is like Ledger Nano S, for example, so that you can store your keys with your own wallet yourself. But that's what the pro feature of Coinbase offers. So Coinbase has succeeded not only by performing these tasks efficiently, but also by keeping the client's personal data secure. And other, by the way, similar exchanges have come and gone. They may have failed because of the security issues and whatnot. And one of the most spectacular failures, by the way, if you remember, back in 2014 was the hacking of the Japanese exchange Mt. Gox, right? Which actually resulted in the company's bankruptcy with the loss of billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. So, and of course there are others as well. So how does Coinbase actually make money, right? These millions of dollars that they're shown profit, how do they actually make money? Well, Coinbase doesn't charge you to store the cryptocurrency. So if I buy Dogecoin, for example, at Coinbase, they're not going to charge me, right? Instead, it earns fees and commissions when you actually buy and sell currency like Bitcoin and Ethereum. Well, and it makes sense. So if I, buy Dogecoin and store it, no problem. But if I, sell, then of course there's something that I need to pay a small fee. So other ways Coinbase makes money is through, let's say, margin fee. There's also Coinbase fee itself, where it's just a commission on all transactions charged in addition to the spread. But margin fee, also known as the spread, by the way, Coinbase will charge you probably like 0.5 or 0.50% or for crypto purchases and sales if you're doing margin, right? Depending on market conditions. So the margin fee basically is when you end up paying, depends on the change in price between when you get a price quote and when the order is actually completed. Okay, so, and it also has several other lines of business in addition to these exchange services, such as Coinbase Commerce, this Coinbase Card, like a physical Visa debit card, right? And of course USD Coin as well. So this is how Coinbase actually has positioned itself, and now it's ready to go public. Initial public offering is about to come, which is great because now the crypto exchange is going to be regulated and it's going to be public on NASDAQ, which is exciting because for all cryptocurrencies that follow, that make part of this exchange, right? So you see where I'm getting at, right? You see what's happening here. Moving forward in future, these exchanges are now going to be online, right? On public, actually under the regulation, the umbrella. And that's exciting. So how much is Coinbase worth? I talked about that earlier. Coinbase's last formal valuation was in 2018 when it accepted a $300 million in new financing. So at that time, the company was worth $8 billion. Okay, this was in 2018, so I'm sure it's higher now. But here's the real question: how is Coinbase going public? Right? The initial public offering is basically how Wall Street describes a process by which a private company makes, to the public stock market. And with the IPO, a company hires big investment banks, right, to help sell its shares, the stock to the public. That's just basic definition of how companies, start to offer IPOs. The bankers don't come cheap, by the way, in this, and they do help private company navigate, unfamiliar waters and set a viable IPO price per share. So they come up with the initial price for the share based on, number of factors. So with this direct listing, these companies can basically skip the expensive investment bankers and their fees and simply list the stock on the exchange. So this is just like a fast track. So the owners of the company convert the shares to stock, and then investors can buy shares on the exchange, right? So in an IPO, just know this, that a company going public would typically issue new shares of stock to raise capital. Okay? And that's traditionally speaking. But in a direct listing, the company isn't looking to raise additional capital. Its employees and investors are basically selling their existing shares of stock to the public. So this is a key difference, okay, between a direct listing as well as a traditional IPO. So here's the real deal. What does it all mean for, let's say, cryptocurrency future, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin, right? Well, there are a bunch of cryptocurrencies, but Bitcoin, of course, being the largest, has captured the greatest share of public attention. And the reason is simple. Its value has risen dramatically. It's trading at, let's see, right now, Bitcoin is at 51,000, right? So that's a pretty high price for Bitcoin. And the reason why is because one Bitcoin was valued, let's say, $1,000 at the beginning of 2017, just 4 years ago, right? As of February 2021, the same Bitcoin is now worth 37,000. So you can imagine the exponential growth. So, but it's worth noting that the interest and discussion around Bitcoin has strayed over the past decade, right? Because the top of Coinbase website at that time were welcome to future of money, right? So they were also thinking long term. So that's really what the benefit of that cryptocurrency is going to achieve when Coinbase and these types of exchange go public. Because and Bitcoin actually gained, became famous as a possible replacement for the US dollar as the main means of exchange and payment, right? So there was, of course, you can see the tug of war between US dollar, physical currency, paper currency, right, fiat money, versus the actual crypto money. And guess what? Now these exchanges are actually being, going towards being regulated on NASDAQ, became public, right? So the impact in the future, in the long run, right, is what you can definitely see that all these cryptocurrencies are also going to be regulated, right? Which means, right, which implies, right, you can certainly make some sound logical deduction that these cryptocurrencies are also going to be accepted otherwise as forms of payments, and people are going to be start to using these cryptocurrencies moving forward. Okay, so whether it's 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever it is, but that is the future, guys, and that's what we're hoping when it actually goes and it hits. Okay, all right, so yeah, if you have not subscribed, by the way, so make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you also put a comment and hit the like button if you like the Coinbase initial public offering. So right now, Dogecoin